Hey, what is up, everybody? We had a good night. Yeah, believe it or not, we actually had a really solid night. Uh, or today. Today is it's technically 12 o'clock in the morning, so technically last night. But sorry if it sounds a little bit echoey in here. Absolutely everything in my house is sitting in my living room now. Getting ready to be taken out into the U-Haul, and bright and early in the morning when I go pick up the U-Haul, heading down to Mississippi. So if it sounds a little bit echoey in here, sorry, because it's completely empty in here. So, recapping yesterday, ended up not getting any Bobby Portis lines on Underdog. Now, if one of you guys ended up betting Bobby Portis's points and rebounds elsewhere on a different app, let me know. What was his points and rebounds at? Because he crushed it. If I'm not mistaken, I think he had like 15 and 9. I'll double check here in just a second. But if I'm not mistaken, he still ended up having a monster game. But due to the switch, due to them not sitting their starters, went ahead and made Jonas Antetokounmpo's points the lock of the day yesterday. Let's see. Yeah, Bobby Portis had 15 and 8. So that's still a pretty solid night for him coming off the bench to get 23 points and rebounds. I feel that's probably pretty close to what he normally would have been on a regular day with him coming off the bench. So if somebody ended up doing his points and rebounds elsewhere, let me know. But we switched it up to Jonas. Jonas hits his points. He had 6 at the half. 6 points, ended up scoring 24 points in the second half to hit his points line for us. We went under on Kevin Durant. He ends up getting 35, or 36, I think, so he ends up hitting it by 5 points. He had 22 in the first half. He was red hot. I think he started the game 6 for 7 from the field, like 4 for 4 from the free throw line. He came out dangerous. And then RJ Barrett hit on the under, baby. He only scored 14 points. He needed 25 and a half, so not the way I wanted to happen. He ended up getting injured and not returning to the game. So you never want to see a player go down, and that's the reason why you hit your bet. But at the end of the day, a hit is a hit, and hopefully RJ Barrett gets healthy. I don't know, he probably won't be back this season, so hopefully he can come back healthy for next season. But we did hit on his under, so that RJ Barrett play did end up playing or hitting. And then our late ad, this one was in Discord, so if you guys want to join the Discord, this one was up in the Discord. A lot of people were talking about this one, so I went with it. Kevin Porter Jr., his PRA, I think he had 49 PRA today, and it was only had about 33.5, so he absolutely obliterated his PRA, and that's where my hit from last night came from. Ended up doing a Giannis Antetokounmpo over on points, under on RJ Barrett's points, and KPJ's PRA. Ended up doing a backup slip to my perfect 3 slip. Perfect 3 slip didn't hit because Kevin Durant went over in his points, but I swapped out one Kevin for another Kevin in my backup slip, and hit with that KPJ hit. So with that being said, that was a super long intro and a super long recap, but let's get into it today. Alrighty, so as of the time that I'm recording this at 12:17 a.m. on Saturday early morning, there are 0 lines out anywhere. I'm looking around, looked around other sports books as well as Underdog. Nobody has any player props out anywhere. So here's how we're going to attack this. Only 4 games tomorrow, okay? Looking down the list, I'm going to just give you guys plays that if they end up playing, these should be good matchups, and they should be ones that should hit their lines or guys that go under. And it's only going to be 3 picks again, only 4 games, and again, I'm not even doing official lines, so just going to throw these ones out there because I do want to be consistent with my content. I still want to get out videos, even in the middle of a move. So, with that being said, let's get into our lock of the day. All right, baby, coming in with the lock of the day. Let's get it. Yesterday, our swap for Bobby Portis and Giannis Antetokounmpo worked out. So Giannis Antetokounmpo gave us our hit for our lock of the day yesterday. So coming in hot with today's lock of the day, he's an MVP candidate, MVP front runner. He was the top of the race for quite some time. I think he's, according to Vegas odds, kind of fell in a little bit behind now to a man in Jokic. But give me the 76ers big man. Give me Joel Embiid, the process. Trust the process, baby. We have not really bet on Joel Embiid at all lately or recently or all season, really. Today he takes on the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers are notorious for getting absolutely housed and routed in the first quarter and the second quarter, and they somehow put games together. And what are the Philadelphia 76ers really good at doing as well? Getting huge leads in the first half and blowing them in the second half. This is a game I think has a chance to do that again. Like I said, Pacers get off to really bad starts. 76ers get off to a really good start. Pacers finish good. 76ers finish horribly. 76ers the other day were up big on the Toronto Raptors, and the Raptors ended up crawling back into that one and winning that game. So that is a reason why I think Joel Embiid is going to have a big game today. His points, they've set it up around 33 and a half. Also, his rebounds been up in that 13, 12 range as well. I'm going to go points in this matchup. If they do a points and rebounds line, we'll go points and rebounds. But I'm liking points as the most in this one, assuming they'll put it up around 32.5, 33.5. But it'll be our lock of the day versus the Indiana Pacers that have no interior presence, especially knowing that can hold Joel Embiid. So give me Joel Embiid over on his points tomorrow for our lock of the day today. Real quick, if you guys are new to Underdog Fantasy, make sure that you there's a link down in the description I have that automatically takes you to the App Store where you can download Underdog Fantasy. Also throws in my Take My Shot code when you guys sign up for that. So when you make your first deposit, it helps me out big time, as well as it gives you a 100% deposit match up to $100. So if you throw in $20, for example, you'll get actually $40, and they'll give you another $23 just to bet on for funsies, a little risk-free bets for fun. And so that is always nice as well to get those risk-free bets. Also helps me out, like I said, big time if you guys use my code TAKEMYSHOT. Because all my picks every single day are always going to be Underdog Fantasy picks. I think it's the best player prop betting app out there. With that being said, now let's get to today's picks. Next up, give me another under. Give me the under on Jonas Valanciunas, a New Orleans Pelicans center, under on his rebounds. Tomorrow he takes on the Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies are one of the best rebounding teams. I think at a time they were the #1 statistical rebounding team in the league. I don't know if they are now still, but they have been in the past. And in the past, he's had bad rebounding games, not touching double digits once this year. And they've matched up 3 times. This will be their 4th matchup. And he averages 11.5, so nearly 12 rebounds on the season. He hasn't touched double digits one time versus the Grizzlies. In a November 13th matchup, he had 9. That was his best performance. November 15th, he had 4. And then March 8th, he had only 2 rebounds. So I'm really liking this. Only averaging 5 rebounds versus the Memphis Grizzlies. As long as the Memphis Grizzlies aren't sitting a whole lot of guys tomorrow, anticipate this one to be a pretty good under to go with for Jonas Valanciunas, as history says. Never had a double-digit rebounding game. I'm assuming they'll put this at 9.5, 10.5. No way they put this under. Like, if they go 8.5, that would kind of shock me a lot, honestly. So I'm assuming this line will be rated around 9.5 or so. And I'm liking that under a lot. Under double-digit rebounds for Jonas Valanciunas versus the Memphis Grizzlies tomorrow. Next up, give me a man who is coming straight off of an injury. He's played pretty solid in his first 4 games back. Give me Paul George, okay? Looking at how Paul George has played since he's come back from injury, averaging about 30 minutes per game in his 4 games, 22 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, and 3 steals, as well as over 3 threes a game. Looking down that stat line, if they end up putting out a PRA line for him, wouldn't be a bad one, averaging about 32, 33 PRA. If they give him like a 1.5 or like a 2.5 steals, definitely not a bad one to take there. Also had a couple of blocks in a couple of games here. But if they do like a 2.5 or even like a 1.5 3-point line for Paul George, definitely take that line. I'm really liking Paul George's matchup is the Sacramento Kings. Harrison Barnes is an all-right defender that they might throw on him at times. I know Paul George primarily runs the 2 in that offense, so he'd be matched up with, say, like maybe Davion Mitchell at times. I think he's probably too small, though, so I think he doesn't match up well with Sacramento. And as long as this game doesn't get too out of hand, I feel like Paul George can have a pretty big one tomorrow, so I'm liking Paul George. I'm liking a 3-point line the most. Let's see if they give him a 3-point line. PRA is not bad. Steals isn't bad. And even points as well. If his points isn't something crazy, like around 25 points per game, I like the over on his points. But I'm really looking for a 3-point line for Paul George. All right, guys, let's get into our perfect 3 slip. With that being said, with our lock of the day of Joel Embiid over on his points tomorrow versus the Indiana Pacers, then give me over on Paul George's threes. If threes isn't available, I like his PRA. If PRA is not available, steals. If his steals isn't available, we'll just go straight up points. He's averaging 22 a game this year. As long as it's not something crazy like 24, 25, I like the over. If it is up and up around that range, we'll go under on that one. And then under on Jonas Valanciunas' rebounds versus the Grizzlies is a solid line. Hasn't hit it one time versus the Grizzlies this year. I'm anticipating more of the same today. So those are going to be our 3 solid picks for the day. If stuff does end up happening, I do have the time. I'll pull over on the road when we're getting gas or something, and I will definitely add comments, pin comments tomorrow. I'll be in the Discord, letting you guys know if, say, Joel Embiid doesn't end up playing, maybe Jonas doesn't end up playing, something like that. We'll add some plays once we officially have lines, because like I said, right now it's 12:30. We officially have no lines, so if stuff does happen, we'll adjust. But for now, this is the picks I like. And with that being said, that'll wrap up today's video, guys. Today's the day. Today's the big day. In about 8.5 hours or so, I'll be picking up my U-Haul and loading up the truck and taking off down to Mississippi. Still gonna put out a video. The only way I won't post videos is if I don't have Wi-Fi or my baby's being born or I'm at a wedding or my own wedding, whatever. Big events like that, the only reason I'd miss. I'll try to get this put out in time for tomorrow. And with that being said, guys, thank you for all the safe travels and the comments and stuff like that. A lot of good stuff is coming in the future for the channel when we get down to Mississippi and we get settled in. I've got some big things coming, some new stuff I'm gonna do, stuff that's gonna involve you guys a lot, and I'm super excited about that. I've been super excited to get you guys involved in stuff like that, and you guys will get that all figured out once we get down there. And yeah, with that being said, hopefully these pics stay pretty similar to the video, and if not, we'll make adjustments. But with that being said, I will catch you guys Sunday morning. Peace.